All right, so lots to talk about this week. So for starters, all of the types of blocks, they're now created instead of just being from one Angry Block class. So for each type of block, they all derive from the Angry Block. So that actually is something that made collisions easier. Instead of having every block type have to independently deal with the visitor pattern, the Angry Block just takes care of it kind of as a catch-all. And then for actually applying damage, it has a virtual method that all of the classes implement. So here, I'll give this a run. Okay, so I have the damage system working where it swaps out all the sprites and all the pigs are created. And also I've got my sling here, so if I can drag it around, here, I'll shoot one straight up. So if I click around here, it doesn't activate it, but if I click in around the sling, it activates. So if I launch it off, you can see that some of the pigs they're swapping out the images when they're taking different damage, and same with the blocks, although it's a little more subtle. So that tower that was there, if I go to this scene, I actually create it right here. I have a kind of base class for creating towers, and it also takes care of the cleanup for me in the background. So whenever I create a derived one, I can just focus on really making the tower. So this 3 here corresponds to the number of levels in the tower. An unfortunate side effect of Box 2D is things that start to crush under their own weight when you get tall enough. So if I play this scene, we'll see that the bottom is starting to degrade and it's going to disappear pretty quick. Yeah, it's actually going a little slower here, but see, there it goes. So I'll put that back to 3. Also something that you might notice, so if I go to 2, the way the tower is constructed is, the king pig's always on top. So also I can swap scenes if I press the 2 key. It's an empty scene, but it's kind of a good starting point for future ones, and you can see the birds are a little different. The slingshot's really easy just to queue up. There's no animation going between when birds are added in yet, but that'll be polished up in the future. So if I go back to the first scene using the 1 key, you can see everything's been cleaned up. It's put back to where it should be. So I really wanted to spend time polishing up the Angry Birds power-up system, so I don't have it where I can press a key and have an explosion at the bird's position, but if I press the 5 key, if it doesn't, if all the blocks go to sleep, it tends to not activate the explosion, which I need to fix. If I press the 5 key again, oh, you're kidding me. What in the world is going on here? There it goes. Okay, so it's just the pig right now for the explosion sticker, but you see you pushed everything away with force using the sensor, and everything took damage. So it actually used the contact, not an impulse, because there is no impulse data, I found out. But it just does a little simple calculation in the background to calculate the amount of damage. Also, to kind of help, just from like a gameplay perspective, the different interactions in the collision action pairs actually can have multipliers for the damages. So, for instance, a bird would actually do 3 times as much damage on a pig as it would from falling on the ground on its own. And this also is true for other block types, like a block-to-block interaction is only half the amount of damage that it would regularly be, whereas a bird-to-block is 3 times the amount of damage. And this just kind of helps, firstly, structures stay up, and also helps make it so the birds can really do real damage, where the other scene, in parts of the scene, might not be as destructive, where you might not want them to be that way. So that's really about it. Thank you.